How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast, and I am your host, Aaron Wrestling. Tonight, we're going to go over AEW and the matches that happened tonight. AEW tonight was a great show, and I enjoyed every bit of it. Not one thing on this show was any dull or anything like that. It was a great show to me from start to finish. Hit that like button, subscribe to this YouTube podcast, and you can also follow me on Twitter, where I will also tweet during the shows. And if you have any inputs, any comments, any questions, tweet me out, hit them in the comments below, whichever you want. And on Twitter, I'm A_L_L_W_podcast. That's what Twitter let me use. I know it's a long one, but that's what I got. So let's get into tonight's show. Tonight we start off with Jungle Boy Jack Perry versus Matt Hardy. They start out going back and forth in the match, and it was a good match. Sammy Guevara with Tay Mello and MJF and Darby Allin are watching backstage as they're setting up this fatal four-way AEW World Title match. And they're looking on the opponent, Jack Perry. All Ego Ethan Page gets involved, starts getting involved with the match, and here comes Hook. Hook comes out and gets the assist, fights off Ethan Page. Jack Perry counters, comes back, gets the win. As he's celebrating the ring, MJF music hits. MJF comes out to the ring. They have a great back and forth promo. A few points to take away from this. MJF said Jack Perry's career is mid and has been a disappointment since he has been the good guy and been on the fan side. And he hasn't gone anywhere, hasn't won any titles, hasn't done anything. Well, let's correct that. He's won the tag team titles with Luchasaurus. I hope soon they get Luchasaurus and Jack Perry back together. I love that tag team, but I'm loving the singles career of Jack Perry, and I hope he wins the AEW World Title. Would love to see Darby Allin with the AEW World Title. Sammy Guevara would be great with the AEW World Title. I mean, these are the pillars of AEW, the ones that started this company, the originals. Without all the extra WWE guys, and Tony Khan got, happy seeing a lot of WWE guys getting released. He signed them over, which hasn't been bad, but I love these originals. They become the spotlight now for the AEW World Title, and I hope one of these guys wins it. I love MJF as world champion. He's a great heel, but I've been wanting Darby Allin to be AEW World Champion for the longest. I love his TNT title runs. I would love to see him with the AEW World Championship. That would be great. Even Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara, they would be great too. So this would be great. I'm not sure if MJF is going to drop the title. I'm not sure if he's going to lose, but we shall see. Time will go on. In the promo, Jack Perry responds to MJF that he has nothing but the AEW World Title. A lot of you don't know, MJF and his fiance broke things off. MJF is now single, and all he has, is the AEW World Title. And so that's what Jack Perry points out, and that MJF is nothing but a narcissist. And then when Jack Perry wins the match and takes the AEW World Title away from MJF will be all alone. And that's pretty much the end of that. We go from there to a backstage promo with Don Callis and Kenny Omega. They are, Don playing the victim from last week when he was holding on to Adam Page, and then Adam Page jerked. Don Callis went down, played the victim. Oh, Adam hit me. Kenny bought it. And then now Kenny resaw the whole thing, that it wasn't Adam's fault. So Kenny's all upset with with Don Callis. Don Callis says he's going to go make everything right and apologize to Adam Page. Kenny, you just focus on the match. I'm glad to see Kenny Omega and Adam Page back together. Glad to see the Elite back together. It's been so long, and it's good to see them back. So I'm a big Adam Page fan. I really hope the Hangman, Adam Page, the Cowboy, becomes AEW world champ again. I loved his little title run that he had. I hope he's one of the pillars of AEW as well. I love him. I hope he gets back in the main event title spotlight. Or wins the TNT title, something like that. I love Adam Page. We go from there to the next match, which is Don Castle and the boys. Brent and Brandon come out with them, and then they get ambushed by the Blackpool Combat Club. Blackpool Combat Club are now becoming the bad guys, but I love it. You know, I love Blackpool Combat Club. I'm a huge fan. They're one of my favorite factions besides the Bloodline in WWE. I would love to see guys like Claudio be AEW champ or TNT champ, and Yuta as well. I'd love to see them as AEW champions or tag team champions. They should get in the tag team mix, or the 6-man tag team, the trios titles. That would be great. So I'm hoping that gets cooked up soon after we get through this Elite versus Blackpool Combat Club that they're building up. That's going to be great too. That's going to be fun to watch. But I'd love to see some titles on these guys. I think that would be great. Be awesome. But they ambush Outcast and the boys, and it leads to Claudio versus Brandon Tate in the ring. Claudio does a squash match, very short match, and then they, of course, beat down Don Castle and the boys, and then they stand tall. And then we go from that to a backstage interview with and Page. Then Don Callis goes and interrupts. He tries to apologize, and they also get ambushed by Moxley, Yuta, and Claudio. Blackpool Combat Club. Don Callis gets busted open and starts bleeding. That's one of the things I love about AEW, is that they got blood back in the wrestling. I don't like seeing a lot of it, but when it's meaningful, that's when I like to see blood in the matches, blood in backstage fights, depending on the situation. And the match too. I like to have some meaning to it, not bleeding every single week. I don't need to see some blood every week. But when the match calls for it, or when the backstage fight calls for it in certain aspects backstage, they get slammed on their head, slammed on something, steel or hard, stuff like that. That's when I like to see it, not just a little punch and then boom, they're busted open and started bleeding. AEW doesn't need to overuse the blood, because fans are going to get tired of it, and from what I hear, some fans are tired of it, and I'm getting tired of it. So hopefully they cut back on that. We go from there to the big match. And this was a good long match. Kenny Omega versus Jeff Cobb for the WGP United States Championship. That's New Japan Pro Wrestling United States Championship. They have they're doing this Forbidden Door pay-per-view coming up between New Japan and AEW. That's why this match is going on. That's why the New Japan United States title is allowed on the show. Shows the spotlight on them, gets fans drawn to them, and it's great for both shows. I wish WWE would open up that Forbidden Door, and we have some of that going on with AEW or New Japan. Who knows when Triple H gets full in charge? Maybe we'll see that. Vince McMahon and Trish, not going to happen. Triple H, maybe. We'll see. This match was really good. Kenny Omega gets a hot start in the beginning of the match. And then Jeff Cobb takes over, and he hits an awesome running brainbuster. Right? Jeff Cobb reminds me of Rhino, with his look, his gear, the way he wrestles. I mean, he's a little bit more athletic than Rhino, but he still reminds me of a Rhino. And that's what I love. I wouldn't mind seeing more Jeff Cobb on AEW or Ring of Honor, something like that. Jeff Cobb is great, and who knows, maybe he even gets WWE's attention, and they look over there. Not to say he would go over to WWE, but it's a possibility. Then they cut back into the ring. Kenny Omega and Jeff Cobb go back and forth in the match, which is great. This match was really good, a really good long match. I think it was about close to 15 minutes long. It was a really good match. That's why I love that AEW. They focus on long wrestling matches. They have a couple of short ones, but it's not a lot of short ones, and it's quality matches, not quantity matches. Sometimes on Rampage, they can get a little over the top. They only have 1 hour, but they try to cram so many matches within 1 hour. They don't need to do that. Quality over quantity. It's one thing that I don't like about Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. They want to cram so many matches, more so Raw than SmackDown. They want to cram so many matches in that 2-hour span. NXT will get like that too. I don't want to see that. I want to see good quality matches, and that's what we got here with Kenny Omega and Jeff Cobb. It's good quality wrestling. It was a good long match. Kenny and Jeff go back and forth, and then Jeff hits Kenny with an awesome suplex off the top rope, off the turnbuckle, not top rope, and it was really great. Yeah, if you hear my dog snoring, I apologize. She's asleep. Jeff goes for the cover. Kenny kicks out. Jeff hits an awesome standing moonsault for a big guy like that. It's awesome to see. Kenny breaks out again. Jeff Cobb also hits Kenny Omega with his own V-trigger finisher. Kenny counters and then hits him in the one-winged angel. I love that finishing move. And then Kenny Omega wins and retains the title. Then you have, as Kenny is celebrating, Blackpool Combat Club come out again. It had this Blackpool Combat Club has a Shield vibe to it. The Shield, when they came out and they would ambush wrestlers in WWE, they would come out of the crowd, they would surround the ring like the hounds, and I really think John Moxley brought this in because he was part of the Shield, and that's where what this stood out to me. That's what it felt like to me, was a Shield vibe with the Blackpool Combat Club in this part right here, even with them ambushing Don Castle and the boys, ambushing Adam Page backstage. It just has that Shield ambushing vibe to it like they did in WWE. So they come out, surround the ring. Then you hear Bryan Danielson moving. Music hits. He comes out, sends out Blackpool Combat Club. What are you doing? Tells them to get back. This isn't what we're about. And then he goes over to, gives his hand to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega takes it. I think Yuta gets in the ring at one point. Kenny goes after him. He gets out. And then you see Bryan Danielson in the corner getting ready. And as soon as Kenny turns around, he hits him with the knee. And he puts Kenny in a crossface. And then that's it. And Blackpool Combat Club fights off security. Security comes out, and then Claudio, Yuta, and Moxley fight off security while Bryan Danielson has Kenny Omega in a crossface. And then they stand tall in the ring. Blackpool Combat Club is becoming really great to me. Like I said before, they're one of my top favorite factions besides Bloodline. Really excited to see where this is going. I would love to see titles on them. I would love to see them really dominate, go after the titles, the trios titles, the AEW Tag Team Championships, the TNT, the AEW International title, AEW World Championship, something. I like the Ring of Honor titles, but they're AEW boys. I want to see them get AEW titles. But loving them. One day soon I'll get one of their shirts and their hoodies. I just love how they focus on wrestling, and they're like, we are wrestlers, we are fighters. This is what we're about. We're not sports entertainers. We're not here to show off. We're here to kick butt and take over. That's where they're at right now, and that's what I love about it. I love this violent, aggressive side from them, and I hope it keeps going strong. So we go from that. We go, commercial break, come back. The Butcher versus Orange Cassidy for the AEW International Championship. I love the AEW International Championship. I love how the name has changed. The All Dynamite Championship was just, I don't know, it was a weird name. I didn't like it, but the International Championship. Now this title is more of a Intercontinental Championship type feel to it. And I hope that they push this title and give it some, have new champions, some good champions. And for champions to hold this title is one thing that I hate about AEW is that they lose momentum for their champions. They get a good build for their champions. The one who they want wins, and then after they're like, what we do now? They don't have a plan after someone wins the title. And then they just, I guess, go in panic mode when somebody gets that stale run, and then they want to change the title to somebody else. And then if that doesn't work, then they do the same thing again. And that's what we've seen with the TNT title so far. In the past couple of months, how many TNT champions we've seen, we've seen how many times we've seen it change hands, is what I should say. Because it was Wardlow, went to Samoa Joe, went back to Wardlow, went back to Samoa Joe, went back to Wardlow, and then Wardlow lost it to Powerhouse Hobbs. Let's not forget that Darby Allin held it before then. So, I don't know. I just would like to see somebody get the championship and have that momentum and hold it. And like I said earlier today, if you watched my episode 2 earlier today, I went over some things today. And one of the things I pointed out was the wrestler makes the title, not the title makes the wrestler. The wrestler makes that title prestigious. The wrestler makes that title look good. The wrestler makes that title prestigious and like a championship. Hey, we need to fight for this. And we're not really seeing that with AEW and with their titles. Even the AEW World Championship title right now, it's got a good momentum to it. MJF going in with this fatal four-way match with the pillars of AEW, with Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. So hopefully after that, whoever wins, we will see whoever comes along. Rumor has it could be CM Punk. We'll see CM Punk versus MJF again for the AEW World title. I'm not sure if Punk would win. Punk didn't want to be the face or be the champion to begin with, but Tony Khan asked him to get some ratings, to get some viewers, and to get attention, and CM Punk did it. So who knows, we might see CM Punk, and I hope we see CM Punk come back. I love CM Punk. Hopefully we see him make his return and he comes back, and we get him back in the mix, and he may come back and help FTR at some point. With they're facing the Guns right now for the AEW Tag Team titles. They're facing them next week for the it's career versus title match. So if they win, then who knows? We'll see that with the Guns getting somebody to help them out, and we'll see. Who knows? Maybe even MJF. We'll see a 6-man tag match there with Punk and FTR versus the Guns and somebody, or we see them go up against somebody else, or just Punk comes out, goes in a single division. We shall see. So, back to the match, AEW International title, the Butcher versus Orange Cassidy. Butcher and the Blade jump Cassidy before the match, and then the referee ejects the Blade. He kicks him out of the arena from ringside, and then we get a one-on-one match. Love it. Butcher starts off strong. Starts off strong over Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy counters. Orange Cassidy comes back, and then Butcher gains the upper hand again. And then Blade comes back out with the crowbar, and with the referee distracted, hits Orange Cassidy again. Orange Cassidy, of course, kicks it out of the pin. It was a close 2 count, super close 2 count. Then the best friends come out, and then they attack the Blade, and they grab the crowbar. Butcher goes out there and tries to attack, help his buddy. Referee distracted, checking on Orange Cassidy, and then the best friend hit Butcher with the crowbar, and then Orange Cassidy gets the orange punch and the beach breaker, and then he wins and retains the title. It was a good match. Not bad. I loved it. Orange Cassidy is fun to watch, and best friends are too, and them together is great. Hopefully they get a shot at those trios tag team titles again, and hopefully they'll win it and hold it for a good while. We go from that to Jade Cargill cutting a promo. They're talking about Taya Valkyrie and how she uses the move Jaded again, which, if you don't know, Taya Valkyrie and Jade Cargill have the exact same finisher that they've copied from Beth Phoenix. It's a cool finisher, but you just took somebody else's and made it your own. So Taya is using that finisher, and so Jade Cargill says if she uses it this Friday in her match, that she will sue. Not sure where this story's going. Jade Cargill's undefeated still with the TBS title. Who knows how they're going to go with that. Hopefully they end it soon. Somebody ends that, whether it be Taya or rumor has it'll be what's her name that's going to come back and return. She's out on injury. Going blanks what her name is now. But maybe Taya Valkyrie or Mercedes Moné. She comes in, that's who it is. No, she's not from injury, but Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, if you don't know, she come in and dethrone Jade Cargill. We shall see. I don't know. We'll see how long they carry on this long undefeated TBS title reign. Rumor has it that they're going to try to break Goldberg's record. I don't want to see that, but we will see. Speaking of Goldberg, he is up as a free agent, and Tony Khan is interested. We'll see. I wouldn't mind seeing Wardlow versus Goldberg in a fun fantasy matchup. That'll be fun to watch. We go from that to Willow Nightingale versus Ruby Soho. This was a fun little match, and to me, women's wrestling in AEW is a lot better than WWE's. With how many tag teams they got right now in AEW for the women, they can bring in the AEW women tag team titles. I think that would be great because they have the teams to do it, a division to do it, and they don't have brand split warfare going on like Raw and SmackDown. So, and they actually have a good solid tag team division with the women. They got a few teams that they can start off with, and then as they go, create more teams. There's a lot of factions, a lot of teams in AEW, so if they bring in these kind of titles, I think it'll be great. Rumor has it Saraya is trying to get it for the women. Even maybe the tag team, another singles title, which they don't need. They already have a secondary singles title, the TBS Championship. Bring in tag team titles for the women, and we got the teams, they can do it. And then continue to build off of that. I mean, they get a huge roster, so they can create some teams and put together. So Willow starts off strong. She dominates the match pretty much in this match. And then, of course, the heels doing heel stuff. Outcast Saraya comes in and attacks Willow Nightingale when the ref gets distracted, pushing Ruby Soho off Willow Nightingale. They run the ropes, and she was doing the 5 count. And it's funny how referees will do that 5 count. They'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they go and push the wrestler off. Like, hit 5, disqualification. They didn't listen to you. But no, she goes and pushes her off. Saraya gets the knees to the face with the referee's distraction. And Ruby Soho back in control. She does her thing. Willow counter. She gains back control. And then off the distraction by Saraya later in the match, was distracting the referee. Tony Storm distracts Willow Nightingale. Ruby Soho goes up and gets the roll-up pin, puts her feet on the ropes. Tony Storm holds her feet down and assists with the pin. Referee didn't see it. Then after that, they all gang up and attack Willow Nightingale. Rio comes out and tries to help. 40-pound Rio gonna fight all three people? Nah. I don't mind Rio, but she's just too small. And she looks like she's 14 years old. So, we got from that to Jamie Hayter coming out. Jamie Hayter's awesome. Great champion. She fights him off. Rio and Jamie show some respect to each other in the ring. And then Jamie goes and attacks Outcast, chases him out. And it's setting up for the Jamie Hayter versus Rio AEW Women's Championship for next week. So then we go into, from that, to commercial break, come back, Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia, main event. Garcia starts off strong. I love, and disrespects Adam Cole. I love how Adam Cole is back and wrestling. I missed him. To me, is Shawn Michaels 2.0. You may not like hearing that. Nobody probably likes hearing that, but he has that HBK vibe to him, and that's why I love him. Love his new jacket, too, by the way. Looks cool. I can't wait to see him back in the AEW World title mix or the TNT title mix or something. Put a title on him. He can take that TNT title, get it back to that prestige status and elevate the TNT title. So Garcia, they go back and forth. Garcia hits a power driver on Adam Page. And, of course, you know about his concussions and all that, so they play that off. And then Adam Cole eventually comes back, counters, and hits Garcia with a neck breaker, really good neck breaker. And then they go back and forth. And then Adam Cole hits the Panama Sunrise, then hits the boom kick for the win. Britt Baker comes out and congratulates Adam Cole, celebrates with them, big kiss, all that. And of course, they're selling it to set up for the All Access show, which I'm planning on watching, have it recorded, probably watch it tomorrow. It's pretty cool. I like that behind the scenes type shows. I think it's cool. I think it's fun to watch. So she comes out and they set that up, and then Chris Jericho comes out. He helps Daniel Garcia out the ring, and then at one point he stops, and you think he's going to turn around and go attack Adam Cole. He doesn't. He keeps walking. Adam Cole versus Chris Jericho needs to happen. That match is going to be great. Them two in the ring would be magic in the ring. That would be fantastic. Chris Jericho is great. Adam Cole is one of the best, in my opinion, out of this current generation. I love seeing him AEW. I hope he has a good long career there. Hope he wins some titles, tells some stories. And it's great to see him and Britt Baker on screen. Like seeing them wrestling couples, you know they're couples, so let's show it on screen. So we got that going on. And then that's how the show ends, with Britt Baker and Adam Cole in the ring with gold confetti going around. And that was the show. AEW Dynamite. It was great tonight. Loved it. Can't wait for next week's episode. We got some good matches set up. Jamie Hayter versus Rita for the AEW Women's title. And then my favorite, what I'm going to be watching, because I want to see how this ends, FTR versus the Guns for the tag team titles. Career versus title match. There's rumor going around FTR is interested in going back to WWE because of Triple H. Now that Vince McMahon is pretty much back in control, or has a say in things, or is selling and also he's selling the company. FTR's minds might have changed, and they might stay in the company. They may not go back to WWE. We will see. The story will tell. If they lose next week, we'll see where things go from there. They might come back after, of course, they'll come back after WrestleMania. But we'll see if they'll come back when it comes to the draft. They return at Backlash as a big surprise. If they they leave AEW. They might stay with AEW, renew their contracts, stay with them, win the tag team titles, help put over some new tag teams for the future generation. We'll see. But I'm interested in that match next week. But overall, great show tonight, AEW Dynamite. If you liked it, give your comments, drop your comments below, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and of course hit that notification button so you get notified on new episodes. Again, follow me on Twitter, A_L_W_ podcast. Follow me on there. You can tweet me. I will respond. I don't have the blue check mark because I don't want to pay for the doggone subscription, but it is me. So if you follow me, tweet me, I'll tweet back. Tweet me some questions. Tweet me some. Tweet at me what you think on the Tonight Show, what you think on what WWE's got going at WrestleMania this week. Let's talk about it. Well, that's the show tonight. Aaron Wrestling is out, and this is Aaron Loves Wrestling Podcast. And remember, just love wrestling. You ain't gotta go who's better or who's not. Just love wrestling. Love it for what it is. Don't look at the bad. Focus on the good and just love wrestling. Have a good night, folks.